Hi Aquarius, welcome to your January reading. Happy holidays and happy early Aquarius season. So, you're kind of the new guy on the block. Jupiter and Saturn have moved in, but right now it's just a bunch of confusion in your head. It seems like a very bumpy road or a very bumpy beginning. There's a lot of, hey, wait, I need that. What are you doing with that? You have two choices. You can let go or be dragged. Let go or be dragged. It is very important now for you to learn the lessons that this onset of Saturn energy is trying to teach you. I know it's bumpy and extremely harsh, but it's only in your benefit. It's so you don't get caught out here later looking like a fool. Saturn can be seen as preventative. So you shore up the foundation of a house because that will prevent it from falling down. Queen of Swords, you have so much you want to say, and Mercury moves into your sign on the 8th, and so it's the perfect time to say it, but you have to be really careful because if you're not telling the truth, it's going to come back and bite you really hard. That's one of the things I have written down here as well, is that secrets are revealed. You have to remember that right now the sun is behind you and it's illuminating things within you and about you that you may not necessarily be aware of or like. So it's really important to tell the truth, because even if you're not telling the truth, everything around you is illuminated and your truth is out there. So if you don't acknowledge it and aren't honest about it, then somehow it will be acknowledged and someone else will be honest about it. And I think that would be very troubling for you. So to avoid any hurt or pain or embarrassment, it's better to own up to whatever is going on with you, acknowledge your part of whatever you have to leave behind or walk away from. Just being very fair with yourself, not playing favorites is what I mean. Queen of Pentacles and Justice. So this is, yes, it's karmic. It's about karma. And it's also about teaching you the basic karmic lessons of value. Saturn is really good at that. It clears your karma out so you can be materially more and more abundant because you've gotten rid of or done penance for or somehow broken down and remade or lost the need for something, therefore aiding in your redesign. If you are dealing specifically with a Libra, they very much want to add to your value or to your worth, but I feel like you're turned away from them. Or perhaps just turned away from the whole idea of the justice system. Some of us may be feeling just an overall angst when it comes to the powers that be, the Wheel of Fortune, the world, and the Four of Wands. But not to worry. With a bit of strategy, you can win in every department, but it is going to require you to be much stronger than you want to be right now. It's not that you're not strong. It's that the kind of strength that Saturn requires to learn its lessons and pass its tests is it's another sort of strength. It's harsh and it requires resilience. And if you have that and you don't get stuck here, if you persevere, then there is potential to plant some incredible seeds, especially after the 18th. From now or until from the 8th, when Mercury comes into your sign, until about the 18th, you'll be getting in your own way or figuring out how to get out of your own way. But after the 18th, you have some really good ideas and you can plant some amazing seeds again, as long as you're being honest. So as long as you're not doing anything for which you would be exposed and your intentions are pure, your work just takes off and you do better and better and better. And you've also got this knowledge now from the past few months of, people who betrayed you and people who took from you and people who just weren't the right fit for you. So you're moving, but you're moving with a new sort of strategy because you have a new mind. You're built for this new you that now, is coming together. So it's very important to not fall into the traps of overthinking, of doubting yourself, but also of not being selfish. You do have this inclination when working on the self to get into this kind of cocoon and not really care about what else is going on, and that can be really, really hard for the people around you. So you may want to think about spending less time in that bubble, is the nicest way I can think of to say it. Now, one of the other things that's going to happen here when Mars enters Taurus is that you're going to realize that the direction in which you were taking your business, it wasn't really the right direction at all. And you need to change your approach. And that is okay, because along with knowing that, you also get the ideas of how to do it and it starts to come together. But don't go out and recklessly spend money now because you think you have it coming in. Don't start now deciding that you need a bigger this or a bigger that and that you're going to put this money to it. Don't do that kind of spending like we do when we know we have money coming in. Don't do that, because there are delays here and it really does depend on you getting out from under the scrutiny of this full moon coming up and then these transits coming up and coming out clean, and then your abundance comes in. So there are some trials that you have to go through, but you have to play these trials very safe. I have written here and underlined twice, no risks. So you face each one of these obstacles and you make the conservative right decision and you keep moving forward. You tell the truth, you own up to stuff, you let people go, you don't consume yourself with just yourself, you care about other people, you ask about other people, you engage with other people. You're owning up to who you are. And when you pass these Saturnian tests with this sort of humility and playing it safe, what you will find is that what is essentially at the beginning of January not really your turf, you don't know how to play here, it becomes yours. And you begin to understand what the next few years are going to be like. And you can now begin to adjust accordingly. So they get less and less harsh because you are picking up on the lessons more and more earlier. Love you. Let's look at these cards. Hi Aquarius, welcome to the second part of your reading. As you must know by now, the audio and the video is out of sync. Now, I wanted to call this reading a forest, but after reviewing the first part of it, I thought to myself, oh, well, obviously it should be called out of sync. And it really fits because Saturn and Jupiter are going at a certain speed, and you're going to have to adjust to them and the way that they move and the way that they work. But falling in line with them requires this uncomfortable period in between now and then where you're trying to find the flow, trying to find the rhythm, and feeling like you're out of sync. The thing I like about the first part of the reading is that you're hearing what you need to know, and then you're watching me say it after. And it's so applicable because in January you will know, but you won't know how you know. You'll know what to do, but you won't know how you know or how it makes sense, and you'll do it. And then the answers to why you should have done it that way or what was the reason for doing it that way become apparent later. So, a series of tests for Aquarius then in January, starting with that first test of really allowing that truth to come through, venturing probably more into the vulnerable than you ever have, allowing yourself to be as honest as possible. Mercury allowing you to communicate as openly as possible. Disagreements or deceptions coming to light, being spoken about. If you are not, again, living in your authenticity, you will be challenged, and it can be very painful. So we want to get on top of that and be really, really honest about who we are and what we are, and not even allow that to gain any traction, right? We want to jump out in front of that. And then it really becomes about mitigating how this money comes in. It's a slow grind. There is, I would say, the most frustrating part about it is that you know that what you're working on will lead to great gains. You're aware, but it doesn't make the process of waiting and kind of painstakingly seeding this garden, it doesn't make it any easier. And because Saturn, excuse me, I'm going to drink some water. Because Saturn is using these different occasions to teach you some very stern lessons, like, hey, this is how we get on the same speed. First and foremost, you need to do this, this, and this. For a lot of you, that means resolving a past love affair that you're just now understanding, probably tomorrow night at the full moon, where you're just now understanding that it was never what you thought it was, or the things that you at one time expected just were your fantasy. You're realizing the reality behind your romantic fantasies. And it is jarring and it can be painful, but it will free you. And then you're free to speak about it, free to create whatever you want out of that experience. As long as, again, you stay on that honest path and avoid this humiliation. So, overall, it is a month of jumping over hurdles, ducking, ducking arrows, hiding, yeah, it's a bit of an obstacle course until you find that flow. And it's not easy to be out of sync. But just know that you will, and that these planets are going to be around for a while. And when you adjust, or as you adjust, it will get easier, but also deeper and more meaningful. January is just a trailer of what 2021 brings in terms of challenges. And the one thing that you can do is not get so consumed with yourself that you miss out on some opportunities for money or family. Family time, a romantic partner, a great business deal, they can all pass you by when you're in that overthinking space. So you want to work against that natural tendency you have and really not get too upset when these delays set in, because you have this need to talk about things and push things forward, but at the same time you need to be very patient until about the 18th before you can start to use that energy on something. So the time in the middle, you have to be really disciplined with yourself. And you can do that. Good. Great. It's not the most, chirpy, like chipper reading, but look at the first part. It's like so like sci-fi to me, that that delay on the audio or the delay on the visual. Actually, it's crazy to me but it looks so cool, and it totally goes with how life is speeding up and slowing down around you. And you'll find that rhythm. You won't be out of sync too long. So be easy with yourself. Be kind to yourself as you're doing that. It's not for everybody. And you will do it. You will do it. Good. I was going to tell you a bunch of things about personal readings and the extended look at this reading, which is about 15 to 20 minutes long, where we talk about X's and the different signs, etc., etc. The personal recorded reading that is 7 to 10 minutes long, the one-on-one live video chat readings. There are links to all of those things, these rings that I have on. There are links to all of those things below, or you can just go to the ambercon.com link right below the summary and find the same things there. I love you. I'll see you in the extended right now.